Did you know the original Underground Railroad led slaves south, not north? This episode of The Bigger Picture focuses on Fort Mose, the first free black settlement in what would become the United States. African slaves were essential to establishing power in the New World. No one knew this better than the British. Their dependence on African slaves gained them strongholds all along the East Coast in North America and established them as a global economic superpower. But they weren't the only ones who were interested in getting some control in the New World. The Spanish were building their own colonies in Central America, Southern United States, and the Caribbean islands. War between the Spanish and the English was imminent. And since the English's largest slave port was located in Carolina, it made good military sense for the Spanish to establish Fort Mose just outside of their borders in Florida. So in the early 1700s, Spanish leaders had Fort Mose established right outside of Georgia and Carolina in neighboring St. Augustine, Florida. This was all in an effort to attract runaway slaves. And their pitch was simple: come here, convert to Catholicism, and fight against your former slave owners for your freedom. The British did not take this lightly. They knew that the establishment of a free black settlement in a nearby state could spread across all of their slaves and embolden them to revolt and run away. Several hundred African slaves fled to Fort Mose in search for freedom and the opportunity to fight against their former owners. The British were so shook that when war finally broke out between them and the Spanish, the British sent their troops first to Fort Mose to send a clear message to any current slaves and slave owners of what the outcome would be if they attempted to flee to Fort Mose. Fueled by the revenge against their former captors, the men at Fort Mose held off British troops and maintained Fort Mose as a safe haven for slaves for decades to come. Now, it wouldn't be the last time that freeing the slaves would be used as a part of a military strategy in a larger political campaign, Civil War. But the story of Fort Mose sets historical precedent for similar military strategies in the future and helps us see the bigger picture.